Well. Look what we have here. I don't even know where to start this week, but at least we can say that the Soca and Bacchanal podcast number 2 is coming out a lot earlier than we had anticipated. So it's your girl Babbzy here with WarrenCivic. Warren, what going on, boy?
Hey, I'm cool. I'm cool. Good night, good morning, to wherever you are. Well,
You
we're here,
know,
so I'm back.
you know, we gonna have to get you to free up a little bit. You and this is politically correct and good day, good morning and thing.
Well,
You know,
hey, I had a bitty better too, I had a bitty
so
better too.
how have the reviews been so far since the first podcast? How do you feel about the first podcast that we've done, and what do you think about it so far?
Well, I survived. I think we did good, and I got a lot of a couple followers from the podcast. So it seems to be, it looks like a lot of people are interested in what we have to say and the reviews of what transpired through all the bacchanal that's been going on through the Caribbean in the last week. So
Right.
yeah, it looks good so far.
Good. Well, it's funny because it's like, setting up the first, podcast. It's weird because it's like, you have to go to Google Music and, iTunes and all these outlets. And then all of a sudden, like Spotify sends a request and they're like, we want to put the podcast on our Spotify page. And it's like, wow, already like, podcast number 1. And it's been so much good feedback.
That was just the first. That was just the first take.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people liked it because they're just like, it's refreshing to hear conversation about Soca.
Yeah. It's something different to the forum of conversations. And I think we bring the facts, it's no BS with us.
True.
True. We try to bring the facts as much as possible, as closest to the truth. You're going to get the facts from us. So,
speaking about the facts, boy, topic number 1. Let me just slam into that topic there quick because it has not Soca Brainwash in the 6. My Lord, I'll tell you something, Warren. I have not seen so much criticism of an event in Toronto in a very long time. But Soca Brainwash is by DJ Private Ryan. And because you're in Trinidad and you know all this stuff, give us like the rundown of what Soca Brainwash is supposed to be.
Right. Well, in Trinidad, I can speak from his party. In Trinidad, it's Fete. It's normally the weekend before Carnival weekend. The actual Carnival celebrations, and Soca Brainwash is an all-inclusive fete, right? You're gonna get food, drinks. After you paid your how much your 200 US, or if you paid your 900 TT, you're gonna get food and drink, right?
900 TT. Oh Lord, Warren, don't kill me today. 900 TT dollars is what you say.
Yeah, and that's an early bird price.
Early bird price.
That's
900 TT. No, I want to just make sure that you say this thing correctly. So 900 TT dollars early bird is $175 Canadian for a fete.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And you're not going to get any live performances, by the way. It's just DJs. Right?
Wow. No, don't kill me today, boy.
Yeah, you're gonna get DJs, just DJs. Well, you'll get local DJs and also foreign DJs, mostly Toronto. Barry Hype, Ryan Saeed, all the foreign DJs. Sometimes Back to Basics. Yeah, you're gonna get them from Toronto, and because those are Private Ryan good friends, close friends actually, right? That's his circle. So you're gonna get those DJs coming to perform, and they actually do a good job. Right, because the fete is always hype. It's actually more foreign base attended. I would say 75. Okay. I would say 70% of foreigners attend that fete, and 30% locals. Because the fete, as the tickets are sold online, come out online, it's sold out in minutes. right?
Okay.
It have that kind of anxiety, that kind of rush, for attendance of this fete because it's always hype, and then people look at the after movie of the fete, and they even get more hype, to want to go to this fete the following year, right? And because of this hype, the fete transpired from Trinidad to Barbados to Jamaica, Toronto, New York, London, right? So it went all over the
Now
globe.
let's go back to New York. I think it was, I can't remember when, within the last year, I would presume, there was a situation where another DJ blasted Private Ryan about this whole Soca Brainwash. Okay, Churny Boom, that's his name. Because I remember this blasting thing that went on, right? And I remember saying to myself, you know, this dude that blasting, maybe he's bad mind and he's jealous of, this because Private Ryan guy because
I kind of jump in defense of Private Ryan because he was saying you were paying $70 US for the fete and you're not getting anything, right?
Right.
You're not really getting anything. You're not getting drinks. You're not getting food or anything like that. And he said people buying all these tickets, they're rushing to buy these tickets, and he don't see what's the hype about. And he said he will charge for a fete $20 US or $30 US for a fete.
Right.
And
right.
He had to fight up now. You know what I mean? To get his tickets sold out. You know what is the big he wanted to know what was the difference. So that was his question. That he put out there, and people were saying that it's just the experience and the hype for the in anticipation of the fete, right? And that was his concern basically. You know, he wanted to know what was the big hype and what was the I have to go this fete. So
that's why kind of now. He comes up in my memory because, so I'll tell you what happened. Saturday was Soca Brainwash in Toronto. Now, I'll tell you right now, I don't really do these type of events because for me, I'll tell you something. 88 US dollars is about 115 Canadian dollars. 115 Canadian dollars for a fete in Toronto with no performances is blasted ridiculous to me. Like I can't pay that kind of money to party. That's just really how I feel. And people will be like, drinks free because I'm a non-drinker, right? Yeah. I'm not going to get anything out of that $115.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, unless, Marshall go jump out of a bush, you know what I mean? I can't really pay that kind of money for a fete. And it's just so interesting to me because that's probably one of the higher priced events I've seen in a long time. So the venue that they ended up moving it to, I don't know. I heard that there was some conflict about where they were supposed to have the venue originally.
Yeah. The first venue from some of my Toronto peeps, they were saying that the first venue is not really a fete venue. So they were kind of surprised that he was gonna put a fete, to host a fete in that venue. And
right.
Just like a couple of days before, or probably the day before, the venue got changed. Right? So it kind of confused people. And then when they go on there now, it start off late, things popped off late. They were kind of dissatisfied with how the party started off, and they say, but at the end of the day, from what I was hearing, they say some people had a good time. It was kind of 50-50. The reviews were kind of 50-50.
Right.
Some had a good time.
Right.
Some didn't. And it's just basically, if you're already in it, then we just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Money, so
I heard that the bar shut.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, the bar shut 2 hours early. Right? Which is to me, if you're paying for an event where you're having premium drinks that are free and the bar shut 2 hours early, that would really aggravate, me, and I'm not even a drinker. I feel like if you are promising, those types of things and you're charging so much money. But let's talk about the whole Brainwash brand itself. It seems to me, at first I was kind of on Private Ryan's side, right? I'm like, all right, this is DJ Private Ryan. he has his product, he's taking it to the world, and, he has a right to, push his product. But based on a lot of the reviews from like what happened in New York and what happened in Toronto, I'm starting to feel like exploitation feeling a bit. You know what I mean? Slightly. Because it's like you're not ensuring that people are getting that 100%, happy experience. You're just basically grabbing money, and then whatever happens. And then it's just kind of like, okay, well, bye. Like, I would be very ticked off if, I paid 115 Canadian dollars to go on an event for drinks free, and drinks got shut off 2.5 hours before the event was done. And then it was like the event got shut early too. And then, people were just really aggravated by that. And it's like, does Private Ryan want these people to come back? Like, what is his goal? Because it's like,
but just going back to Trinidad, to recap in Trinidad, so I could tell you how it's set from Trinidad to Toronto and the other island, the other countries. In Trinidad, I think Private Ryan puts a lot of emphasis in catering to all the needs of the actual feta to get a good experience.
Right.
So you'll get the best DJs, you'll get the ambience, you'll also get the food and drink, right? Because that will be his biggest sell. And that will spin off. It will be a spin off to the other parties of the islands and also in the other countries. So a lot of emphasis is placed in Trinidad Soca Brainwash. However, when it comes to, I don't understand his methodology when it comes to Barbados or Toronto or New York, because I don't think like he goes all out. You understand?
Right.
In terms of the decor and the after movie and the different things that he will put into Trinidad to really sell Soca Brainwash. I don't think my opinion, I don't think that Toronto and New York or Barbados, they get the same. Because it's the ambience alone. When you walk into Soca Brainwash in Trinidad, you're blown away. You'll just have a big wall where you could go and paint any art, or paint the names of the persons who you came with. You will have big bubbles, people blowing bubbles and all kind of madness. It is really a great experience in Trinidad, and I do feel as though the other audiences get that kind of love now. I don't understand why. I think I'll have to have a really heart-to-heart and sit-down conversation with Private Ryan anytime I see him and ask him really what it is. If it is that it's more costly to put out more in abroad in comparison to Trinidad, but the catch-22 about in Trinidad is a lot of people, Trinidadians, the locals, they're not going up anybody, but the recession has been going on for the last couple of years. A lot of Trinidadians don't want to spend anything over 1,000 TT per a party, right? So he tried to keep the price at around 800, 900 worst case, right? For the locals,
right?
So because people not going to pay like before 1,600 or 1,500 for a party. Those parties not going to sell. You're not going to get a sold out crowd, right? So we need to find out from Private Eye. I think that will be a project between you and I, Babbzy, to really find out what is the difference between Trinidad and the other countries that he hosts this Soca Brainwash Fest.
Yeah. And maybe we can even bring him on one of the podcasts to have this conversation, because really and truly, right?
Yeah, at this point, we could only speculate. Yeah, we could only speculate, and to really get the facts on it, because there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions that we have that have no answers, And
Yeah, and I
really
mean
get
to
that
have
going.
an event in Toronto with drinks free would be very difficult because I know that the drinks would be the most costly part of that whole. It's costly for drinks, even for weddings and these kinds of things. Drinks just cost so much money, and that's why if there could have been an issue with that. Also, if you don't really know, you know, if you don't really know the area or the country that you're doing an event in, you might not understand the cultures because, to be honest, Warren, I party everywhere, and partying in Barbados is totally different than, fetting in, Trinidad, fetting in Toronto, fetting in New York, fetting in Miami, fetting in Grenada. There's so much differences with the people. It's all soca, but it's like
Culture, the
everybody
people different,
fets really differently, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I got backlash for this statement, but it's like, in Grenada, you see a lot of paint and mud. You see people rolling in the mud. You see people doing this whole jab thing, right? That's part of what they do.
Yeah,
And then
that's
like
their culture.
when you see the parade and they have on the oil on their body and they eating like red herring to
Wrong down.
simulate like flesh, right? Like Bajans ain't doing that. There's no way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Trinidadians
Like,
as well. They Trinidadians are a lot of are conservative people. They won't.
Yeah.
That generation where you're putting on oil and that heavy mud is in the minority, right?
Yeah.
In the majority, they would rather put on probably paint where it could wash off easily, but that mud where you have to put on the Vaseline first, and then you have to you oil on yourself with the old car oil or whatever it is that they use. In the majority, this generation that is partying and fetting, they're not going to do that. I'm telling you.
No, and plus I see them doing things like they have a pig head and a goat head, and they drinking alcohol.
And you walk with a bucket of frogs and
like you know what I mean. So it's like it's not no disrespect when people are like,
that's their culture.
That's what they do. But it's like I can't like the typical Bajan person in my mind. There is no way they gonna leave their house, dress up, and then roll in mud. They're not gonna do it. Like 4-day mourning and maybe one event a year, but like that whole theme there, nah. So it's like, understanding each island's culture and how they feel about certain things might benefit somebody who wants to take their event regional, because everybody thinks throwing fets is so easy. It's just like, oh, I'm going to go throw a fet here and I'm going to go and throw a fet here.
Not understanding the culture of the people. It's true. You definitely have to understand the dynamic of the landscape that you throw in the fet in, it's very important to not disrespect people's culture as well,
Exactly. Well, you know what we're going to do going forward? We're going to get you as a takeaway item. We're going to try and find out what happened with Private Ryan. Even if we could get him on a podcast to come on with us and talk a little bit, whatever, we can see what he's going to say. But I would really like to know what's going on, because it's kind of like a few of the events have been unsuccessful overseas. And it's like, I'm not knocking him or whatever. And I hope it's not an exploitation thing either.
At the end of the day, we have to respect what Private Ryan did for the party and culture, people who fet and want experience in parties, coming from from his transition from a DJ to actually a promoter,
Right.
That's a big step that he take, because it's a lot of pressure, because it's basically he is the face and he's the front man, where you'll normally have a promoter will be more or less in the background, and they will just have like a name, so you really wouldn't know who it is throwing this event, so you really can't pressure that person.
Right.
Whereas Private Ryan is at the forefront of his fet and he's promoting it, so I respect him for that, but sometimes you have to understand the different cultures, as we just said. when it comes to different
Exactly.
countries and islands.
Exactly. So we gon' find out more about what Private Ryan's trying to do
We'll
with
get
this
back to that.
brainwash thing, and we'll get back to that. But the next thing that's going on, Bacchanal with Patrice Roberts.
Yeah, boy.
And Bobby exposed. What was the story there now?
Yeah, well, actually, she was performing. And while performing, Patrice, she's a person that likes to entertain, and she has a lot of body movement and excitement on the stage with her songs. She's not a half-ass artist. You know what I mean? She's not gonna give you a halfway performance. She's gonna go all out.
Right.
While going all out, the boobs jump out to the top.
Oh
And
Lord.
yeah, and people had video cameras out, pictures out. As I told Patrice, I said, here's what. I said, there's nothing to be bad about, because once your boobs didn't look like a throwback Thursday, you good to go. You understand? So I said, for the most part, everybody liked how it looked. And the comments, because the comments wasn't disrespectful. People say, all right, for a young mom, a young mother, her boob look good. So I said, don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Because it happened to the best. It happened to Rihanna. It happened to Janet Jackson, Lil Kim. Most of the stars.
Yes.
Nobody is perfect. You would have accidents. You would have wardrobe mishaps on the stage. There's nothing to feel bad about. It happened, and you just have to live with that. It's part of life. But
Yeah,
ride the wave. While she at it, I told her ride the wave. You know what I mean? It's just going to die a sudden death. Will be a hot topic at the moment.
Yeah.
And then people just forget about it, man, because at the end of the day, people like Patrice Roberts.
Yeah, people love Patrice Roberts. And I like the direction that her career is actually going now, because it's funny, I find ever since she left, from working with Machel, no disrespect to Machel, she's just kind of blossomed even more and grown even more, and has become this very strong female soca artist brand internationally, and it's really good to see something like that. So don't worry, Patrice, man, your bubbies look good. The people say they say your breast holding up good and firm and thing. So you get through, girl. You get through.
She not back to the titties.
No. She got the Woman Crush Wednesday titties. Yeah, you get through. You come in on a Wednesday. You ain't make it to the Thursday, Patrice. You come in on the Wednesday, right?
Right.
So we have this week a new soca video from Teddyson John and International Steven Vent. So this music video is about basically, minding your business, that kind of thing. And it's just interesting for me to see, International Steven on a song like this, right? He's doing artistry now, or like what? All these DJs want to branch off?
Well, yes and no. Some DJs are being featured on songs as artists, and likewise producers as well. So you'll have like a Static featuring Melly Rose, and you'll want to know, is Static an artist? But no, it's like it's something new to promote their music, in a different light.
Right.
And you'll have like a DJ even putting out an album, just like how this big rapper from the States there, oh gosh, what's his name? Yeah. But anyway, just the point I'm making is just like you'll have DJs putting out albums as though they're artists. So it's something where branding is concerned, and commercial branding, and getting your music out there. Promoting your music. But DJ Steven and Teddyson John, they have a good chemistry. I think they work well together.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah. They work well together, and he is just like DJ Steven. You'll hear like ad-libs from him in the song, right? But for the most part, it's Teddyson who's really on the lead, right? And the song Vent is a big song. I told Teddyson John, I said, you're well done again. Because
that is a beast. He's doing really well this year too.
Pardon?
I said Teddyson John is a beast vocally, and he's doing really well this year as well.
Yeah. So I told him when he dropped the song, good job, because it's kind of hard to keep consistent you know, and Teddyson since Ali, he's been very consistent with his music, you know, and to keep bringing hits one after the other. But it's not like in America where you put out an album and every 2 years you just put out another one and you throw on the hits of the last one. In the Caribbean, soca artists have it's a lot more challenging because where you're good as your last hit, you know, and every year you have to put out music, right? To keep afloat. So it's a lot of pressure on the artist to keep consistent and to be creative as well with the music. So to keep having hits one after the other, you have to rate these artists and give them that respect. And I think Teddyson John did a good job with Vent, together with International Steven. They did a good job.
Yeah.
With the video as well. Like last week we were talking about a video script that isn't just basic, you know, and I think they had a script.
Right. There was a storyline here and everything.
Yeah, there was a script and storyline with this video that tied in with the lyrics of the song, right? And well done again. The pixels of the video was very clean, was clear, it looked international. Although it still had that local that Caribbean appeal, but the clarity of the video was well done. Yeah, so
Right. So let's get into the St. Vincent Soca Monarch finalists for the Raga Soca and the Soca Monarch categories. We have for Raga Soca, Azari Matthews, Keto, Hyper 4000, Sunshine and Nadiva, who are friends of mine actually, Nikki, L. Pank, Scorpion, who's another friend of mine, Sheena, Collis, Fimba, Chiwali, and Fireman Hooper. They are the 11 finalists for the Raga Soca Monarch. And then they have Soca Monarch, which would be The Fugitive, Mad King, Grabba Finesse, Scarbs and Sickle, Flanka, Chiwali Johnson, Rekka, Dennis Bowman, Skinny Fabulous, Hans John, Small Circle, and Hyper 4000. So for me, on this list, the strongest voice in the Raga Soca category is Scorpion by far. Scorpion is probably, besides Bomani, he's the other person who he doesn't seem to compete much anymore, but Bomani voice, he's strong vocally. Scorpion is the strongest person in the Raga. And then for the Soca Monarch, I'm seeing Skinny Fabulous for the win, obviously right there. That one's easy.
Yeah.
What do you think when you look at this list?
I have always been a Fireman fan. So a little biased. And Fireman now he's also defending his title, and he'll be defending in Soca Monarch.
Right.
So because he won last year, 2017, right? So in the lineup that I'm seeing here, Chiwali Johnson, I think he could give Fireman a little competition because his vibe, his swag on the stage, and we was talking about swag. You know, you have that energy. When it comes to stage performance, even before the song, before you even enter the stage, you have that energy. The song does give you that kind of vibe. I think Charlie have a little bit of that in him. But you mustn't underestimate Hyper 4000. He is like Iowa George.
Right.
Stage. Yeah, that kind of energy. He could sing whatever. Yeah, that is Hyper now.
Yeah.
You know, so he have that kind of He have that history and that vibe that with him that carries it to every competition. So whoever rule him at that horse. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be keeping our eye close to that competition. Another competition that happened in St. Vincent was the Country Soca Monarch, and the winner, Small Circle, was bottled and hit in his head. It actually hit the woman who was placing the crown on his hand. So it didn't full blown hit him straight in the head. And I was so appalled when I saw that clip. The only time I've ever seen anything that disrespectful was last year when Boise was bottled. Yeah. He couldn't even finish his performance. They had to get him off the stage because what Small Circle got was one bottle. Boise got pelt out in Grenada. He got pelt out. Like, he was singing and dodging bottles. And I've never, like, I've only seen bottles pelt at, like, Sting in Jamaica and them kind of things. So,
I remember that.
like,
that used to happen a long time in Ronnie McIntosh days with Super Blue, you know? They were heavy rivals now. You know, but the ironic
you can't be bottling people though, man. That really upset me, man. This soca, you can't like, you're gonna bust somebody's head for competing and winning. Like, I would really hope everybody listening to this podcast who is a soca lover, like, there is no way that we can accept people throwing bottles at soca monarchs and Calypso monarchs and these kinds of things. This is absolutely absurd.
In Trinidad, it kind of, not really bottle, but in Calypso, the competition leading up to, like, Calypso Fiesta, it's kind of, it have that stigma that if you're singing mess, you're going to get toilet paper, and they will pelt toilet paper at you. You know, they'll wave it. So that basically says that you're singing shit. You understand? Quote unquote. Right? So once you see toilet paper.
And toilet paper is cool. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. Toilet paper is cool because what? Toilet paper, you know what I mean? Toilet paper can't hurt nobody. You're signifying that it's shit, and that's, you know, symbolism, fine, but a bottle can burst somebody's head.
I remember Bounty used to get some bottles back, Bounty and Beanie, when it was Sting, you know, back in the day. They used to get bottles, but...
I remember a time Super Cat had to step out and save, what's his face? Ninja Man had to step out and save Super Cat because he started to get bottled. And they were like, you cannot bottle Super Cat, and Ninja Man came out and threatened people. He's like, the next person that throw a bottle at me, I go shoot you. Like, it was like that. It was serious. Like, you can't bottle. Can't throw bottle at soca competitors. I'm not going for that. And we also have the finalists for St. Lucia. They're Soca Monarch, and we have a list of them. Let's see. We have the 9 groovy Soca Monarch people that are competing, which is let's see. Invader, Lady Lean, Nintus, Ocean, Reddy, TC Brown, The Blacks, T.I., Caro, and Wale. And for the Soca Monarch, we have is this correct? Esteban, Ricky T, Ezra, Ilaman, Mantius, Nasus, featuring Chrome, Platinum, George. No, I'm mixing up these two. One of these is the Antigua Monarch. I'm thinking I have this list incorrect. But anyhow, the St. Lucia Soca Monarch competition is coming up, the finals, as well as the Antigua Monarch finals. And the closer that we get to those dates, we'll talk about that in depth a little bit more because they're a little bit further out. So, there's going to be a lot of competitions coming up over the next couple of weeks. So we have a lot of research and watching to do, Warren.
I want to interject, Babbzy. I know when you did the live the other day, you spoke about Problem Child, everybody rooting for Problem Child for Road Match. And you know what? The place got wild. Because everybody at this song, it's so infectious on his song Love the Road on the Monkey Steel Rhythm.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that song so powerful. And the Problem Child I would say for the earlier part of last year was doing so good and still doing good, you know. I mean, he's keeping afloat, and I really wish Problem Child could take it home for a second year again, because this song here is, you know, from the time I hear that song, I say, yes, boy, Problem Boy. You know what I mean?
And you know what's funny? I did a video a couple of years ago where I was saying artists that I think should have had bigger careers, and Problem Child was one of those artists. And I got some backlash from Vincent They were kind of annoyed about me saying that. And I wasn't saying it in a disrespectful way. I think Problem Child is very talented. And I think that he should be, you know what I mean? You see where like Skinny is internationally? Problem Child should be like neck and neck on that level. Yeah, he is out here for soca and he is, you know, known, but I just think that
not only an artist, Problem Child is also a writer, writing a lot of hits for Patrice.
Right.
Wrote for Charles Marshall, you know.
And Bungie and
he is really a bad writer, you know, a talented brother overall. So, you know, you have to give him credit for keeping afloat and keeping himself in the industry, you know, because a lot of artists could get that could get you demotivated. You know what I mean? When people not really you just are wrong and they're not really giving you that respect. You know, it could demotivate some artists, you know, but you have to give him the respect. You know, he's been doing good and making entry into Trinidad and keeping consistent with the music. Yeah, man. Respect the Problem Child, man. Yeah, man. All the best.
Yeah, man. Big up, you know. Yeah. And as I said, I like Problem Child a lot, even as a person. Like I had interactions with him in real life. He's a very cool, respectable, nice man. Like, you know what I mean? Like so I'm glad you brought that up because I don't want anybody to think that I don't like him. I actually do like him. And when I say I think he should be bigger than he is because I want him to be bigger than he is. Yes. You know what I mean? Like I want him to be, you know, that big, huge artist. Yeah, I want the best for him, man. I want him to win. Plus his name is Johnny Fontaine, right? Yeah. And one of my middle names is Fontaine, so that's kind of why I like him. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know me, I soft when it comes to them things, right? So the topic of the day now, let's get into this one. Calypso music. Is Calypso music dead? What do you think about Calypso music? Is it dead? Like, what's the status of it in Trinidad? And then what do you think the status of it is internationally?
I think more could be done in terms of promotion of Calypso music. I wouldn't say it's all right dead because you have the young ones who's actually holding up Calypso and they're doing a real good job because if you look at the last 3 to 4 years in terms of the winners of Calypso music in Trinidad, you have people like Devon Seals, you had Karen Ashe, Chucky Gordon, Helen Francis. Right? Those Helen Francis is the recent winner. And also even Voice, Calypso, soca artist Voice, he was in the competition earlier this year. So, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of youngsters, they getting into Calypso. And the dynamic of Calypso is changing as well. The long time draggy songs where it was a lot about it politically motivated, right? You spoke about the government and it's so cliche. It's predictable that you know you're going to hear songs like that. But Helen Francis, Voice, Karen Ashe, even Terry Lyons, they change the landscape of Calypso, and they are changing the landscape of Calypso, and you're getting more Calypsos with a lot of real reality issues, you know. Terry Lyons sang a powerful song last year where the name of the song was Black and Ugly, right? I think she plays two, right? And she spoke about the color of skin, where you don't have a trump card as a black person, you know. They literally compare black people as ugly, you know, and it was a powerful concept. I liked how Terry delivered it because she have an amazing voice. I rate Terry Lyons. Bad. And also Helen Francis, he spoke about that he was the winner of Calypso Monarch this year. He's a UWI graduate, university graduate, and Helen did an amazing job in terms of his vocals and delivery of his song. You know, he spoke about a song called Paradise. That was his song last year, and the way how Helen sang that song, he got a standing ovation from the audience. The way how the lyrics of the song was so powerful, it was even emotional to see somebody that young because Helen is from around 24, 25, right? And
Right,
carry a
right,
crown of Calypso Monarch over the veterans like Chalk Dust. That's a big accomplishment, you know? Um,
right.
so I think
Well,
it's
it's
already.
funny you say that because Calypso is dead everywhere else, pretty
Mm-hmm,
much. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like in a lot of the other smaller islands, you're not seeing
mm-hmm,
young people getting into Calypso like you would, I guess, in Trinidad because the
mm-hmm.
incentive just isn't there. Most people are getting
Yeah,
into, the Groovy Soca and the Soca Monarch
yeah,
competitions because it's very difficult, especially with Calypso. I feel there's a biasness in Calypso and even in Barbados, I see it like a lot of the times, iWeb has won the Calypso Monarch in Barbados
mm-hmm,
after fighting for years because there's just this kind of like, preferential treatment towards like the gabbies and the plastic bags and these
mm-hmm.
older men,
Yeah,
TC, has been robbed many years in
mm-hmm,
in Calypso Monarch in Barbados.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, because it's like they don't want to give it to a woman, and it's just like you can
Yeah.
see like the chauvinism in Soca in Barbados. Worldwide, I don't even hear Calypso in any event. Like I don't hear Calypso anywhere.
But I think in comparison to Trinidad and to outside, I think the promoter Calypso events in Trinidad is really Tuco, which is Trinidad Trinbago Unified Calypso Calypsonians organization, right? That's the
Right.
promoter, right? So we call it short for Tuco. That's the acronym. Um, I think Tuco need to place more emphasis in promoting Calypso. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
only have it, not they shouldn't just have Calypso, seasonally, from coming down to the carnival. You start to promote Calypso should be promoted during the year, all year, and make it
Right.
something
Right.
all around the year. So it will have more interest in Calypso. In Calypso, they
Yeah,
should have
because
more
I have a
workshops.
secret for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a secret for you.
Tell me.
Like the right Calypso song will have me foolish in the road. Like the right Calypso song, Warren, would make me pull up in traffic and get out and like
Yeah,
Calypso is my thing. Like
yeah,
I even told you like Chucky Gordon. He has a
yeah,
song called Nizen Quotas. Like that song is
yeah,
so like
yeah,
constructed amazing, and I'm
yeah,
like, wow, for
yeah,
somebody this young to sing a
yeah,
calypso like this, like as I said, the right calypso song will have me foolish,
yeah.
bruh.
And
Like you want to get on my good side, play me some good calypso, you know what I mean?
I think Chucky have the antidote in terms of writing a calypso where you could actually dance to the music as well.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
He bring a different vibes to the music. Chucky has that kind of knowledge about calypso music. You know, calypso music. I think it have to have more workshops, Babsy, in teaching people
Yeah.
how to write the proper calypso. You know, in penning a calypso to actually trend, you have to be very creative. You have to have a lot of knowledge of using metaphors and similes and different analogies in bringing out
Right, right,
the
right.
topic of what you're trying to explain to the public, right? So calypso
Right.
music is very deep. It's not, and a lot of writers in Trinidad, I would say, they touch the surface of music, and I've been saying that for a long time. The music isn't deep; it's on the surface. And when I mean on the
Right,
surface,
right.
for instance, going back to Mighty Shadow, Mighty Shadow had a song called Dingole, and I don't know if you remember
Right, right.
Dingole. Dingole was a song
Yeah,
that,
man.
yeah, Dingole was a song that spoke about music and the effects of music and melodies it would have on one person. And he was so intelligent in writing that song. He brought about the creator as well. He said the creator of music has to be terrific. That would be the one who created the sun, the moon, the rivers, and the seas. That line alone,
Right.
it shows how intelligent one could be in terms of writing lyrics and putting down music that is so deep. It wasn't on the surface. It wasn't on the surface. And that Calypso is like Biggie Smalls Juicy to Trinidad. You understand? Juicy? You understand? Where you remember all the lyrics from the time you hear it. You know? Where Biggie said it was all a dream. I used to read the Word Up magazine, whatever. When you hear Dingle,
you know what's funny?
Yeah,
go on.
Yeah, when you hear Dingle, those words, those lyrics will immediately come back to your head. You know, and I think
it's
what
funny.
happens. Just one more point. What happens? There's a disconnect between the young writers and the old writers or the older soca artists, where they don't actually listen to the foundation of soca music or calypso music. So they don't know how to actually put the words together to get that type of feeling, that type of emotion, that type of melody. There's a disconnect. And a lot of writers, they don't listen to the old school music. So there's where the challenge is there. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Well, the other day, there was an incident in Jamaica where, on the beach, they were telling black people to come off of the beach and they only wanted the beach for like the white tourists and whatever. And it was funny because I seen everybody talking about it and they were like, we need to build a song for that. And I was like, Jack don't want me to bathe on my beach. Jack tell them to keep me out of reach.
Yeah.
Like, this is 1983. Gabby sang about this, and then people were like, oh, that's what he's saying in the song. And it's like, because so much people just listen to songs and at a high level, like Boots, right? Government Boots makes everybody get up and dance. Yeah. But if you listen to what he's saying in Government Boots, right? Mm-hmm. Is it necessary to have so much soldiers in this small country?
Yeah.
No, right? Then he's just like, is it necessary to shine soldiers' boots with taxpayers' money?
Yeah.
Right? And then he's like, don't tell me. Tell Tom Adams, right?
Yeah.
He put them in St. Lucie, unemployment high, the treasury low, and he buying boots to put on soldier toe. Yeah. So it's like, listen to what he's saying, right? Yeah. But everybody just like the beat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it is just like, he's like Grinder when he's just like, I can rip your pants, I can make you dance, you can feel that I is a nest of ants, I can milk your goat, I can sink your boat. And then next, I'm going to beat you with my ex because he's saying the politicians trick him into voting for them, that you come with big tricks, corned beef and biscuits and rob my democracy. But people just dance when they hear that stuff and jump around, right? Yeah. But it's like, listen to what he's saying. So people were like, oh, that's what Gabby's saying in Jack. And I'm like, yeah, he's talking about the beach is mine. I can bathe anytime. Despite what they say, I go bathe anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
The way how they used to put calypsos together back in the day, like the shadow sparrow saltfish. He wasn't really speaking about a saltfish. He wasn't speaking about the fish itself. He's speaking about a woman's vagina.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Look, I've heard some witty calypsos. One of them, the guys, he was talking about World Cup in Barbados and how they spent so much money on it. So then he said the song was called 4 Cup, right? Mm-hmm. So then he was just like, Prime Minister do this and all of them 4 Cup, right? So when you hear him singing it, it sounds like he's saying fuck up, right? The way he was wording everything. And it was like, this is the stuff I like. That kind of stuff will make me excited. Because when I listen to the song, I'm like, like even Problem Child, people are like, oh, the road. I'm like, he's talking about the wood. She begging for the wood. She skin out on the wood. Like, I'm like, he's not talking about the road. He's talking about the wood, the hood, the buddy. People are like, oh my God, Babbzy. So go back and listen to what he's saying. You know what I mean? And that is why Calypso and double entendres and that type of wittiness is important, because that's what made people think back in the day. A lot of people may not have been able to go to school and become educated, but they still learned and gained knowledge about current events and social events through Calypso music. So Calypso can't die because that's a part of a way
we have
to transfer information.
Calypso is Calypso music is a lot of people don't really. Some people don't read the papers. I wouldn't say a lot, but some people don't read the papers. So calypso music is very informative when it comes to the lyrics.
Right.
And it will it could give you a recap of the events that transpired within the year. It could be social events, political events, whatever it is that the writer of the calypso choose to speak about. He could bring he is informing you of what happened within recent times or within the year or in the moment, and it's very informative. So you have to be very intelligent in writing and putting these words together to make sense and to actually make people move. So I wouldn't say it's dead, but it's not it's not trending, you know. It's not trending because there's much the Calypsonians are in the minority, Our parents who used to go from fete to fete or actually tent to tent, I would say, that generation has passed. Right. And the generation that coming up now who are interested in Calypso is in the minority. So you'll see less people going to the tents in comparison to when our parents used to go to the tents and sit down, and the tent would sell out every night from Thursday to Sunday, the tent selling out. Right? So Tuco now have a task at their hands, which is the promoter of Calypso events, to bring more workshops. I would say more workshops, promote Calypsos not only seasonally but within the year, and have competition, not really competitions, but have events where people could come and listen to Calypso during the year, do more promotion. It's just not about Carnival, leading up to Carnival and you open up a tent and you just have a tent in the last 2 to 3 weeks before Carnival weekend. They need to do more promotion. So in that event, it will encourage people and to get involved in Calypso. So that's just my take on it. That's where Calypso stands.
Yeah, sounds good. I hope that the right people are listening to this podcast and realize that we need to save Calypso, especially from an international standpoint. Like, as I said, I don't hear Calypso in fetes anywhere I go. It would be nice to, still hear the music every now and then.
Yeah. And I think, I'm very optimistic and hopeful that voice continues in Calypso as well, because it could encourage other artists as well to join in on the competition, because Voice did a good job. Terry Lyons has been consistent in Calypso as well every year, and she sings soca, right? So once people see more artists who doing soca in Calypso, I think it could bring back that vibe into Calypso competitions and the attendance, because once you see somebody they could recognize, this generation that is coming up, they will be interested, because it had a buzz that Voice was in Calypso in Trinidad, entering it had a entering Calypso competition, so there was a buzz, but it has to have more involvement by the other artists as well, who can carry a Calypso as well,
So, yeah. So people listen, make sure Calypso stays alive. Hear what I tell you? So we go sign off here, Warren, because we had a good run today. We talked about a few topics. I think we're going to have to do this every week though, brother man. I don't think people are going to want us to do this every 2 weeks like we originally thought. I think for the summer, we're going to have to do this every week. When I am Barbados, if I crop over and think we're going to have to do this, that's not what I'm saying, because I don't think that people... They ain't gonna let us get away so easy.
Yeah. And you bringing it back, and I bringing it too. So, and we in business.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I trying to dip you in the Bacchanal road. So you could say bye to the people and let everybody know how to follow you, etc. Because you know how that goes already. You have all your outlets. Shout them out right now so everybody can follow you.
Sure, no problem. You can follow me on Facebook, WarrenCivic Mackenzie, on Instagram, WarrenCivic, and also on Twitter, WarrenCivic. So until next week.
Right. And I am strictly Babbzy on all my outlets except for Facebook. My name there is Babbzy at large. till next week. What you say, Warren?
Yeah, we here.
All right. So people, I'm going to play the Chucky Gordon Calypso on the way out so you can hear this. I'm going to attach it onto the end because you need to understand what Calypso sound like. You understand? Yeah. Love everybody. Catch you guys next week. Gone. Bye.
That's it.
Suffer slavery and the impacts of indenture. We mature and appreciate each other's culture. We share food, music and coin the term Dougla. Eat Christmas, Diwali, we celebrate together. Nelson Mohammed want to come establish quota. Racial profiling between Africa and India. To send this lovely nation down the gutter. Would you let one man and one man alone? Would you let one man come and destroy we whole? One man and one man alone. Would you let one man come and divide we home? What percentage of Africans must be plumbers? What percentage of Indians must be welders? What percentage of Trinbagonians must be bakers? What about me Chinese and Caucasian brothers? Would you let one man and one man alone? Would you let one man come and divide we whole? This country's diversity is the envy of the globe. Rainbow country, Desmond Tutu project, we to the world. I buy your roti, I eat your doubles every day. What percentage of pillar one cuckoo you buy, I cannot say. In the bamboo, tell me now what is the quota for foreign used cars and spare parts, my brother? Who drive the trucks to transport steel bands or panorama? Don't let racial profiling take me straight down the gutter. Would you let one man and one man alone? Would you let one man come and destroy we home? One man and one man alone. Would you let one man come and divide we home? What percentage of Africans must be in business? What percentage of Indians must be academics? What percentage of Trinbagonians must be builders? Should we cater for the mixed race and for the Douglas? Would you let one man and one man alone? Would you let one man come and destroy we home? If the Patarazak was to return, my brother, and see the descendants of great mother India, she will return to Mumbai with great jubilation for your noble contribution in building this nation. The highest offices of this land occupied by Indians. The police force emerged from a colonial situation. As we struggle with crime to reverse trends in this land, how could you target the police for destabilization? Will we let one man and one man alone? Will we let one man come and destroy we home? One man and one man alone. Will we let one man come and divide we home? What percentage of Africans must be doctors? What percentage of Indians must be lawyers? What percentage of Trinbagonians must be teachers? What about we Chinese and Caucasian brothers? Will we let one man and one man alone? Will we let one man come and divide we home? Our country United we'll stand, divided we will fall. We mustn't fan the flames of racism at all. The things that unite us, we will strengthen and build, and not make mountains out of molehill. Men like a build, they use sugar and lay the foundation. They had a vision of a united and peaceful nation. At this time in we history, you want to turn back the page. Tell Nizam Muhammad that we all past that stage. One man and one man alone. Will we let one man come and destroy we home? One man and one man alone. Will we let one man come and divide we home? What percentage of Africans must be pastors? What percentage of Indians must be bankers? What percentage of Trinbagonians must be nurses? What about the Douglas and the mixed races? Will we let one man